Welcome to another video from GM Runs Game. In this video we're going to take a look at Lasalle Bionational. They're a corporation from the Alien universe, and we'll start by giving you an overview of who they are and how they operate before we look more specifically about where they are in the Alien Roleplaying Game and how they interact with Chariot of Gods, the scenario from the starter set, and Weyland-Yutani, their major bioweapons rivals. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Created during the late 2130s by former Weyland-Yutani Vice President Brendan Lasalle, Brendan quits the company citing creative differences, but in reality, because of mass layoffs in the Weyland-Yutani Bioresearch and Development Division, he obtained startup funds and assembled those laid off to create Lasalle Bionational. It wasn't long before his company acquired a lucrative government contract to produce an inexpensive, radiation-resistant corn substitute. The company was controlled by the Lasalle family, handed from father to daughter. While there is a board of directors in place, the family controls a majority of shares, ensuring they cannot be ousted from their own corporation. Lasalle Bionational is in a constant bioarms race with Weyland-Yutani to secure bioweapon contracts with the US CMC, and each is constantly the victim of corporate espionage and sabotage by the other. As Lasalle Bionational is not as well protected as Weyland-Yutani, the UPP has placed spies within Bionational administration with the intent of stealing their research for their own. After Brendan Lasalle's retirement from the CEO position, his daughter, Adina Lasalle, took over the company and decided to boost the company's bioweapons department in order for Bionational to survive, and has stepped up her father's initial plans to sequence the genome of xenomorph XX121. She also decided to look for someone with a particular set of skills to protect the company's interests due to recent security breaches and deaths of prominent employees. That someone was Patrick Macy. Patrick Macy was a mercenary and assassin active on Earth in the 2190s, and by 2192 Macy was contracted by Lasalle Bionational as an executive assistant of security, and as such regularly dealt with people that could cause harm to the company. He was contracted to deal with some competition within the Terran government regarding a creature that was to be used as a weapon system. In 2183, Bionational put a synthetic undercover agent, codenamed Lucas, in the US CSS Montero to investigate why Weyland-Yutani redirected the Montero to the US CSS Cronus, a Weyland-Yutani science ship missing for 73 years. This is explored in detail in the Chariot of the Gods starter scenario for the Alien Roleplaying Game. After investigating the Cronus and learning about the 26 Draconis strain, Lucas's task was to prevent Weyland-Yutani returning any xenomorphic material to Earth, thus giving him instructions to kill any crew or passengers that knew of the existence of the 26 Draconis strain and destroying the vessel to stop any of the material arriving at Earth. Bionational found out about an expedition set up by a government agent named Lasalle Orano to acquire a xenomorph specimen. The company didn't want the government to interfere in the private sector of weapons manufacturing and set out to sabotage the mission. Two of the company's executives, Red and Green, sent out one of their executive assistants of security, Patrick Macy, to deal with the mission. The company also managed to get the United States Colonial Marine Colonel H.S. Stevens on their payroll and to assist Macy in sabotaging the mission. Ultimately, Macy killed Stevens and sent most of the Marines and the crew to the surface as food for the xenomorphs before he himself was killed by a stowaway. The surviving Marines and crew ultimately failed in their mission. The company got its wish to acquire a xenomorph specimen in early 2192 when one of its employees, Jim Lekowski, was impregnated by one of the creatures while doing his job. They kept Jim at their Houston labs to study the effects on the host, and after the xenomorph left its host, it attacked the project leader, with the assistant shooting and killing the scientist. The xenomorph stayed in the dead scientist's body and eventually molted into a queen, after which the company moved her to the Lima facility. The Lima facility was later attacked by a group of cultists worshipping xenomorphs led by a man named Salvaje, who was a former employee for Bionational. Despite their best efforts, the facility security guards couldn't prevent several cultists penetrating the hive and being impregnated. The base self-destruct system was activated and many cultists were killed by the guards, but some impregnated cultists managed to escape the base before detonation, starting the xenomorph infestation of Earth. It is unknown if Bionational managed to survive the Earth War. At some point, Bionational's colony on Taurus 7, which housed their xenomorph cache, suffered an outbreak that decimates the entire population. A United States Colonial Marine Group intervenes on site, but it is unknown if they managed to handle the infestation. Among Lasalle's most notable products are their radiation-resistant crops, their bioengineered livestock that can be customized to a number of different environments, and extrasolar pathogen vaccines. They also developed a blight virus that would destroy an enemy's crops, securing their place in the market. Perhaps among Lasalle's most notable successes are the work of its bioweapons division, which has conducted extensive research into xenomorph biology with notable successes, therefore succeeding countless others, such as their rivals Weyland-Yutani. Thanks to this research, Lasalle has been the primary source of much of the more detailed information on xenomorph physiology that is available. Most of this research was carried out at a hive they secretly bred on Taurus 7. Bionational also scatters science and security exploration teams all across the frontier looking for ancient engineer laboratories, traces of chemical AO3959X91-15, and any other alien life forms, viruses, or mutagens, but to date are still unsuccessful. Now let's take a look at Bionational and the Alien Roleplaying Game. Adina Lasalle. Daughter of the company's founder, Adina has just taken over from her now retired father, Brendan. Adina believes that the expansion of the company's bioweapons department is key to their survival, and has stepped up her father's initial plans to sequence the genome of the xenomorph XX121. Not one to trust reports, Adina is currently inspecting and reviewing the company's holdings firsthand, travelling with a security team to each and every facility to determine each project's worth. While her father Brendan stepped down and put Adina in charge, he still has a seat on the board of directors and acts as her advisor. Adina is not cold-hearted, she just has a logistical approach to things, treating employees as company assets for better or worse. After several security breaches and the deaths of prominent employees, Adina Lasalle is looking for someone with a particular set of skills to protect the company's interests. Lasalle Bionational has its home offices on Earth in Texas, Colombia, and French Polynesia. The company is known to operate several sterile research space stations in the Outer Veil and sponsored the colonies on Taurus 7 and LV-113 in the Outer Rim territories. On the frontier, Lasalle Bionational maintains a farming colony on Terraform 3 and operates a fleet of SEVs out of Anchor Point Station. Rivals to the Weyland-Yutani Bioweapons Division, Lasalle Bionational has in fact managed to secure their own cache of xenomorph XX121 ovomorphs and has successfully bred a hive for study and observation in the Taurus system. Bionational science and security exploration teams scour the frontier looking for ancient engineer laboratories, traces of chemicals AO3959X9115 and other alien life forms, viruses or mutagens waiting to be discovered. And that rounds out the coverage of Lasalle Bionational Corporation. So as you can see, with regard to the Alien Roleplaying Game, there are lots of different ways that we can incorporate this information. We can look at the part they had to play in the starter set and the Chariot of the Gods. We can create some corporate espionage and some sabotage between Lasalle Bionational and the Weyland-Yutani. We can reference the xenomorph research and the physiological information they've got about these creatures. You can set missions on Taurus 7 and the outbreak there with the colonial marines. You can do all sorts. I hope you've enjoyed the video. There are more alien lore videos, as well as stuff specific to the role-playing game, looking at creating characters, how to one-shot Chariot of the Gods, all kinds of stuff. And shortly there'll be more videos on other role-play game systems as well. If you did enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, it's super helpful, especially as the channel's just starting, and I'll see you on the next video.